Let's in the meantime move on and talk about the war updates that are also coming in simultaneously. Because according to latest information, the Iranian delegation that includes the Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, and we are looking at Mohammad Bagher, who is the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council. We are also looking at other individuals who form the Defense Council and the Governor of the Central Bank of Iran, and several members of the parliament as well, who have now been part of this very delegation that has arrived in Islamabad. And this has now been the situation where even last-minute changes were expected on part of the Iranian side, because the Iranian authorities, according to reports, initially were not accepting this very peace proposal or the talks that Islamabad seems to be hosting at this point. But it seems to be a big delegation from the Iranian side, that what we are now looking at, nearly 70 members of the Iranian side, what we are looking at as far as these pictures, including the Iranian foreign minister, the parliament speaker, who are part of this delegation. And this is now this 70-member Iranian delegation that has now arrived in Pakistan. Now, there seems to be a red carpet welcome for them, but it more looks like an event, Mayank, good morning, for Pakistan more than, Iran and the United States. Because till last minute, there seems to be multiple changes, multiple opinions, multiple versions that seems to be coming in. However, on part of, Pakistan, the grandstanding continues. I mean, this is an irony in itself. A rogue state, a terror state talks about peace.
Such an important day, actually, and it is a matter of lives for Middle East, and also equally the splash of it, it goes up to it encompasses the whole globe, because commercially Strait of Hormuz has created lots of issues for the whole globe, and rightly so. What you said is actually Pakistan is trying to make a kind of a visuals out of it, but then it is so sensitive. And as the talks has been or the statements been made before the meeting, which is about to start in Islamabad, there had been sore points, or rather the important points which remain as a bone of contention for Iran. It is Lebanon. There is no doubt about it. For US, it is nuclear weapons. So there are two different things. But then third point, which is equally important and cannot be overlooked, is Strait of Hormuz. So imagine the kind of expanse of things which are about to be discussed between the people, and good that there is such a huge delegation which has come from Iran, because Iran has so many talks to do as far as 10-point is concerned. And as we had been talking about the significance, and for the viewers, we had been bringing out the way the things were. That delegation will be coming to Islamabad. That we had already, in a way, because reading by the trend which Iran had been following, we had been talking that they'll be coming to Islamabad. But Lebanon has remained the centerpiece when we use the term, or has become the center of attraction for everything as far as Iran is concerned. And they say that they can put everything at stake, even the complete ceasefire, if the operations continue against the Hezbollah in Lebanon. For President Donald Trump, it is nuclear weapon, because for them, they wish that enrichment should be given up completely by the Iran side, which Iran denies and says that they cannot be giving away this freedom. And they are saying, specifically they're defining, that the enrichment will be for the peaceful purposes. And they had been repeating it.
No, but wasn't that the objective previously, last year's strikes that had happened? I mean, when it comes to these nuclear facilities, which President Trump says that they've been obliterated, and still now maintains that 90% is the job that they have gotten done. And in the near future, Iran would be in not any position to even acquire a nuclear weapon.
That remains a matter of discussion, because on the 6th of March, let me bring out this fact to the people, that there was a call for disarmament or complete give up from the Iran side by the US people. And time and again, there had been repetition that their capability to strike, and in so many ways, specifically talking about their Navy, about their Air Force, air defenses, which proved wrong time and again. And Iran maintained firing and launching its missiles, even after multiple repeated claims from the side of US and all that they have destroyed, decimated the military capabilities
Yes.
of the Iran. So that remains there.
Yeah.
And
But
remember,
they can
there
always
is
rebuild, can't they? Because this seems to be the very factor that they want to monetize on the Strait of Hormuz. And in a way, the revenue will start coming in because the kind of, dominance that they continue to exude, because this seems to be the very challenge that the US has been unable to do in the last 40 days. But stay on with us, Mayank, because we also talk about these peace talks, because the results of the peace talks is something that could actually define what's going to happen approximately 10 days time that is now left for the ceasefire 2-week announcement that was done by President Trump, and also to determine when it comes to regional and global stability. Just few hours from now, we are also expecting the American delegation to meet with the Iranian delegation in Pakistan, but the truce talks are expected after nearly 40 days of war, and the talks that are expected to begin in Islamabad, where President Trump and Mojtaba Khamenei have now sent their emissaries to negotiate a long-lasting deal. And as far as when it comes to the delegations here are concerned, this seems to be the focus and what we are now looking at, especially when it comes to these peace talks, who's being represented from both sides, the warring sides that we are now looking at. So let's take a look as far as the US delegation is concerned. It comprises of J.D. Vance, who is the vice president. We are looking at Steve Witkoff, the special envoy. He's been also part of different and several negotiations. Jared Kushner is also part of it. He's a senior advisor. The Iranian delegation, what we are looking at, the Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf, and we are looking at Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. However, there are 70 of them as far as the members are now concerned of the Iranian delegation that have reached. Remains to be seen who J.D. Vance brings along with him as far as the American delegation is yet to arrive. So there were many last-second changes as well, because earlier, according to the Iranian media reports, they were suggesting that Iran has now pulled out of these talks, and these talks will never happen in Islamabad. Already a failure on that point. But in the meantime, let's get you another round of breaking update. What we are now learning, because a big claim that has now been made by Iran amid the peace talks. Iran has been saying that preconditions have been accepted. What are those preconditions that Iran is now saying? According to the Iranian embassy there, this is the message that has now been shared, that they say that the preconditions have been accepted. Now, does it mean Lebanon? Because Lebanon seems to be that sticking issue as far as the entire peace talks that, threatened to fail at a point, but Iran was insisting that Lebanon be a part of this truce. However, the version was very different according to the United States and also according to Israel. But does that mean that, US has buckled down? Is that even a possibility? Because even Mayank, on that 10-point peace proposal, United States seems to suggest that it was not even worth considering and to throw it in the garbage. Now, if Iran is claiming that preconditions have been accepted and that is the only reason that they have arrived in Islamabad, is Lebanon a part which United States has now agreed? Because there were certain reports suggested that he's asked Prime Minister Netanyahu to scale back on the attacks.
Let us come to the points of concentrations actually, and those remains three. Which is for the US, it is enrichment and Strait of Hormuz, and for Iran, and time again we have repeated this, it is Lebanon to begin with, and then with the rest of the things will fall next actually. For Lebanon remains that, and they have said that they won't be leaving the sisters and brothers of Lebanon like that. Because they see them as strong allies or support to them. The other point which you have already brought out, but then this has to be clarified and made deciphered before the viewers, is that reparation cost right in the beginning was brought out, then comes the toll cost. So in one way or the other, the money has to be brought to Iran, and you brought this out that they'll be used for reconstruction purposes. So it becomes very significant for Iran that Strait of Hormuz is opened. If reparation cost is not paid, then toll will be coming. That's what we can decipher from these things. But then three sticky points which remain is the Lebanon to begin with.
Yeah.
For Iran, it is a matter of do or die.
Yes.
They have given primacy to Lebanon. 2 is enrichment of the uranium, and 3 Strait of Hormuz. So if three conditions have been accepted of the 10,
and probably the
as
removal
per
of
the
the sanctions as well, because for decades, Iran says that its economic growth has been severely impacted because of the harsh sanctions that was imposed on it. So let's in the meantime talk about what is this 10-point plan that Iran has now set forth as its conditions to actually end the war, or at least to bring it to a halt. Because now what Iran is seeking a permanent end to the war. No temporary truce, no halt, a permanent end to the war. Not just from the US side, but also from the Israeli strikes. They want Israel to stop the strikes on Lebanon. Lebanon, however, has now becoming a sticking point for this. Lift all of the US sanctions because the economy of Iran has been hit hard for decades now. No attacks on Iran-backed allies as far as what it calls as the resistant movement or the proxies of Iran. Full ceasefire on all fronts, again, as far as seeking a guarantee against future attacks as well, not just on Iranian soil, but for the resistance movement as what Iran calls, and of course, reopening of the Strait of Hormuz with a significant fee, $2 million per ship. Dollar fee when it comes to passing of the Strait of Hormuz, because they say that they will share the fee with Oman, a safe passage guarantee system as well, and rebuilding of the infrastructure using this very transit revenue that Iran seems to, in a way, monetize when it comes to the usage of the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to head into a very, very short break. The war updates continues on the other side.